Hey, what's going on, guys? It's Caleb, and let's continue where we left off last week, diving right in on some JavaScript functions. We're going to go ahead and head over to Codecademy and go to functions and variables. So let's go ahead and get started. And we're going to do functions with two parameters. So let's go ahead and reset this. So far we've only looked at functions with one parameter, but often it's useful to write functions with more than one parameter. For example, we can have the following function: var area box equals function, and it's passing in the length and the width through the constructor. Open parentheses, it's returning our length times our width, and then it's going to close our function off. Because we can have more than one parameter, this means we can create more useful functions. And to call this function, one example would be area39. Here we want the area of the box to be the length of 3 and the width of 9. Of course, other parameter values can be used. So, write a function called parameter box that will return the parameter of a rectangle. It should have two parameters. One formula for a parameter is length plus width plus width plus width. Call the function and pass in any value for the length you would like it. So, let's go ahead and do this by making our function. And it wants us to call it parameter box, open parentheses, and we can pass in length, and then we can pass in width, open it up, and we can return open parenthesis length times 2. And what this will do, this will make JavaScript, it'll make it multiply the length times 2 first before it adds, and then we could also do open parenthesis width times 2 and end it off. So what this is doing, it's taking our length and it's pretty much adding it to itself. So instead of typing length plus width, we're doing length times width plus width times, or length times 2 plus width times 2, and that should give us our parameter. So if we go ahead and try and run our parameter box function with 2 and 5, we should get 14. And yep, we got 14 down here in our console, so that was good. And let's go to the next exercise. So let's go ahead and reset our console. Global versus local variables. Ooh. So we need to be introduced to a super important concept: scope. Scope can be global or local. Variables defined outside a function are accessible anywhere once they have been declared. They are called global variables, and their scope is global. Variables defined within a function are local variables. They cannot be accessed outside of the function. This code to the right does not work. We want line 15, which you can't see at the moment, line 15, to print out the value of the variable multiplied. But multiplied is a local variable and can only be used within a function, or within the function. Console.log cannot access this local variable. Why is the code wrong? The multiplied variable is in local scope. How do we fix this? On line 3, if we scroll back up to line 3, on line 3, declare the multiplied variable outside the function so it has a global scope. To do so, type in var multiplied equals 5. This creates a variable which has the value of 5. See the hint for steps explaining how the code works. So if we go ahead and read some of our comments over here, we declare multiplied outside the function on line 3. This will mean it has a global scope. So var multiplied equals 5, and we're ending off our variable statement with a semicolon. Now, if we go down to our function times 2 right here, it is passing in a number, and it's saying the variable, or it's declaring a new variable called multiplied equals the number we passed in times 2. And as you can see, we're timesing 2, or we're calling the times 2 function, and we're passing in 4 for the number. So within our function itself, the local multiplied variable should be 8 if we pass in 4. But global multiplied variable is 5, and as you can see, when we console.log multiplied, we should get 5 and not 8. But if we were the console.log multiplied within this function itself, we should get 8 and not 5. Now, hopefully that helped explain some of the local and global scopes if you're still not getting the hang of it. I'll run through it right quick again and show you what I mean. So let's go ahead and run this. So we get 5. So we're getting 5 because this global variable 5, or this global multiplied variable, has the value of 5. And it's pretty much skipping all this because this, even though it's the same name, this is on a local scope. So only this function has access to this multiplied variable. So if we console.log our multiplied, we should get 8 because down here we're calling our function times 2. We're passing in 4 as our number, and it's declaring our new local variable multiplied equals our number, which is 4 times 2, which should result in 8. So in our console we should have 8 then 5, because still down at the bottom on line 16 we are console.logging the multiplied global variable up here at the top. So if we run this, indeed we get 8 as our local and 5 as our global. So let's go ahead and move along and scroll back up and go to our next exercise. And let me just reset this. Okay, let's review. You have learned a lot about functions today. We better not forget it all. We first discovered how to use functions to perform the same piece of logic repeatedly without having to type the same code again. This saves time for the programmer by being more efficient. Write a function called nameString. It should take a name as a parameter. The function returns a string equal to hi, I am, space, plus name. Press or pass your name to the function and print this function callout. So it already declared our nameString function. So within our parentheses or our constructor, we can throw in name variable as a placeholder. In other words, that's a good way to remember these. These are just placeholders. They're not actual variables. What they are, well, they are really variables, but I think of them more of as a placeholder. And what we want to do is console.log, and we want it to say hi, comma, I am, space. That will save us from adding. That will save us from having to do plus a space when we can just add a space after. And then go back into here. We can add our name variable plus. I'm going to put a dot because it's formal instead of just saying that. So let's go ahead and call our nameString function. And let's pass in, make sure to have quotes around it, pass in your name, and run it. And as you can see, we got hi, I am Caleb. And that was correct, so we're moving on to the next exercise. And let's just go ahead and reset this. Alright, so, functions and if-else. An especially useful application of reusable code is if-else statements. These can be very wordy and a pain to type repeatedly. We are going to write a function that takes a person's income as the parameter. Inside the function will be an if-else statement. We want the function to be available to check whether many different people's income qualifies for them for a credit card. So, write a function called creditCheck that takes the parameter income. Let's go ahead and do this by saying function creditCheck, and we're passing in our income. And let's open it up, give us some room. Inside the function, write an if statement where if the income is greater than or equal to 100, the computer will print out you earn a lot of money. You qualify for a credit card. So I'm just going to copy that string right there. I'm going to use it in a second. And let's go ahead and write our if statement. If income is greater than or equal to, so that's a greater than sign and then an equal sign, 100, open parentheses, and then we're going to console.log to make it print to the screen. And let's go ahead and paste the string that we copied from the left hand side. And now on line 3, if the income is less than 100, have the computer print out, at last you do not qualify for the credit card. Capitalism is cruel like that. So copy that as well. And all we have to do is type in else and console.log it once again, pasting it into our console. And let's go ahead and try and run this function. So call the function passing in the income of 75. So credit check 75 and credit check 125. And once again, credit check, credit check 100. And we should get fault, or not a false, but we should get you don't qualify, then 2 qualifies. So if we run this, indeed we don't qualify for the first one, for it is less than 100, but we qualify for the second and third one because 125 is greater than 100, and 100 is equal to, if not greater to, 100. So moving on, conclusion. Congratulations on finishing the functions course. Hopefully you can see how powerful functions are and how they can be used in so many contexts. To finish this course, please hit run. Please fill in the survey form about the quality of this course so we can improve and make it better for all users. With your newly acquired knowledge of functions, try building your own rock, paper, scissors game. The best way to really learn about programming is to use it and make things. So, to pass this and finish off this functions course in Codecademy, just click run. And as you can see, great job, you've completed the introduction to functions in JavaScript. And we can just rate this 5 stars, because Codecademy is awesome, and Ling Ling is pretty cool for making this course for us. And until next time guys, make sure to like the video, thumbs up, subscribe for future videos, leave a comment if you ever get stuck. I'm out. Peace.